Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much for being live with us Monday, January the 29th, 7:39 p.m. Thank you so much to the 10 people watching live right now. Uh, well, uh, I say when you tie against a Brazilian powerhouse with 33 million followers all over the world, 33 million supporters all over the world, you're talking to one of the biggest clubs in South America for CONMEBOL, and for a small marketed team like Orlando with a huge fan base also in the city with beautiful infrastructure and a great front office, tying a team playing with not only starters that they're going to be playing for Libertadores, etc., etc. It's a huge feat, and Orlando did it this weekend, literally being one goal down. Orlando tied against Flamengo. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking also about King Nico Lodeiro. Why I say King Nico Lodeiro? Because he looks sharp, he looks handsome, he's ready to rock and roll, and he's ready to take Orlando City by storm. Also, we'll talk about our new additions and what we saw in the analysis of the Orlando Flamengo game. A lot of new faces that we saw making their debut. And we'll talk about what happened to OC fans that were not present at the wall. I mean, there were some, and Oscar thanked them, but obviously it was almost 22,000 people there at that game. We'll discuss that. Gaston news, rumors, news, and things like that about Orlando today. I'm here with John and Paola. Paola, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic after seeing our boys played over the weekend. Um, the moment that we have been waiting for is less days that we have to wait. So I'm pumped and happy to be here like always.
Yeah, John, how are you, my friend? Good to see you again. Another Monday.
Good, man. Good. It was nice to be back, in the stadium looking at all the new things that have been there. There was a new screen, the new Jumbotron, and I was looking at some of the new TVs around the concourse and stuff. And so all that new money is coming into the stadium already. It felt a little bit like an away game. That was a little odd. But apart from that, it was nice to see the boys out there preseason and get my soccer fix. Well, specifically my Orlando City soccer fix, right? Because that's the one that I really crave.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a great result for Orlando against Flamengo. We're gonna start watching some of the footage here. I want to thank Orlando City Communications for that. Um, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be really cut and dry. You know, in my opinion, I think Nico Lodeiro is a step up from what we have with Mauricio. I mean, I don't want to knock him down, but I feel like if he maintains this level, um, if Lodeiro maintains the level of play that he showed against a huge team. I mean, people downplay how huge Flamengo is, but a huge team like Flamengo down south, I mean, in the caliber of River Plate and Boca Juniors for sure in Argentina. I mean, I think we found a guy that's definitely going to link up and is going to make not only our wingers better, but our strikers better. Duncan had a couple of chances. I think Orlando offensively did great. Defensively, we could definitely see in the first goal of Flamengo, they kind of were a little late in the coverage, but overall, I think offensively it was a sound game by Orlando with that really nice, beautiful play by Nicola Dero linking up with Ivan Angulo. What are your thoughts, John, regarding the OC game? What are what are things that grabbed your attention?
I think the first thing that grabbed my attention was the lineup that Kuchevsky was in there. He looks like obviously with Cesar away, there was a question of like who was going to get into that D mid. I was just assuming we'd put Felipe in there, but when the lineup came out, Giorgio Kuchevsky was in there, and Oscar, in the press conference, had some great things to say about him, and I agree. I think he looked very very comfortable for a guy that was just playing college like a few months ago. So it's baptism of fire, right? Throw him in the deep ends. Hey, first game, we're gonna put you in against Flamengo, and he looked comfortable. I think, physically, he looks like he's able to play in this league. Sometimes from college, there's a step up they need to take physically to be able to be there, but he's got the size that I think you should have for a D mid. He's got some height to him. He was passing the ball around well. He was chasing down guys. He looked I wouldn't say like an incredible player, but definitely someone that could already contribute. Sometimes when they come from college, there's a question mark, right? Like we saw last year with, say, Shaq Mohammed. We thought maybe he was going to be able to contribute straight off the off, and that didn't happen. Whereas Kuchevsky, I think, more likely is a guy that we could see real minutes for when the likes of Cesar or Wilder are out. So I was really excited to see him. I think he had a great game, and I think Oscar, was right to praise him. So that's kind of my big highlight from the play.
What about you, Paola? What are your takes regarding this game? Look how Flamengo pressured for the first goal, defensively. But what are your thoughts?
I mean, I was surprised, right? Because Flamengo is like you said, Luis, in the beginning of the episode, like, it's a big club. There's a ton of followers, fans. I even saw them the day before in the theme parks. It was crazy, crazy, and I'm like, these dudes are here for the game. I'm telling you, and I told Alec, I'm like, they're here for the game. They're not here, And but I was surprised. I mean, that goal from Angulo and that pass from Nico, that was a chef kiss right there, my friends. Like, you don't even notice that Nico has only been with the team 3 weeks, right? And we said it before, Luis said it before, John said it before. He will be a plug and play in the Oscar system, and he said it too in the pre-game release, press release. I think he said that he knew how Oscar played because obviously they study the opposite, the opponent, right? So I mean, I was curious about the formation too. Like John, I was like, let's see who's gonna play, who's not gonna play. Obviously, Paco didn't play the number 10 on this game because I think Ojeda, it was not prep for this game, right? He
Right,
just
yeah.
came from Argentina because he got his green card, no going anywhere. So I mean, I'm excited. I think we didn't lose that, the connection. Like, it doesn't, for me, doesn't seem that we had a break of the team and there's new people on the mix. So I'm excited for this year. Maybe we don't need to wait for that chemistry that we waited 6 months into the season last year. So I'm pumped, I'm excited, and let's see what the future holds for the Lions.
I spoke to a lot of Sounders colleagues of mine that cover the Sounders, and they told me that one of the reasons why Lodeiro also moved out from Sounders was he felt like there weren't enough connections down in the attacking third. Like he was not being used right. That's how he felt a little bit. Like the Sounders, the coach was relying too much on Leo Chu. And Leo Chu is not Ivan Angulo. And I guess that Lodeiro wanted Leo Chu to play like Angulo did on that play. And so I got Alonso and I got a text from some of the Sounders colleagues, and they said, "You see, Leo Chu." I think finally, Leo Chu just realized what he needs to actually, he should have done in those type of plays with the Sounders with Lodeiro, So a lot of the Sounders fans were watching this game as well. The impact that Lodeiro had in that team, and everyone was saying that he looks so sharp. He looks gung ho to definitely wear purple. And I mean, I saw him. Physically he's 100%. So I mean, he's game ready. So this is the goal right? This is the goal for Flamengo. We set up the play here, and a little bit of a disorganized back line right there. You see Rafa Santos trying to cover, and then
I'm not sure Rafa knows where his man is, so it's too
yeah,
late, honestly. Or if
yep,
he does, he's
He
giving him
looked
too much
lost.
space.
yeah,
He's
too much
giving him too
space.
much space. Yeah,
And
a
then,
little.
in a way, the speed of Pedro, the Flamengo player, I think Robin was too late to cover, and it was just a done deal right there. Nothing to do. It was a beautiful play. And then the goal for Orlando City, in my opinion, it was just a beautiful, beautiful play. I don't know what you guys thought with that goal. Well, let me see if I can find it. Hold on, right here. It should be right there. Right there. Right here. There you go.
Right there. Yep.
Yeah.
I think with
So
the Santos sort of error on the, I don't know if it's an error exactly, but it seems a little bit like he can have those lapses at times. I think last year we forgot, like, he did have a rough start at times,
yeah.
and he obviously we built him up, but there are moments where Santos makes those errors and can cause problems like that, and can let guys just kind of easily get in behind him or get around him. So
But
I think that's just something we need to be aware of. That yes, we love Rafa, but he does have some defensive lapses at times.
don't you feel like Rafa has had a better start in a way than last season? You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, 100%. I just think that it's not completely gone from his
I
game,
agree.
is what I'm saying. Like, it's not something that, and maybe it never will, but obviously he's growing in confidence and everything else. But there were times last year, even when he was playing well, where he'd have a game where we'd have to take him off early because he wasn't having such a good game.
And not
Or
only that,
Jensen and go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead, Paula. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that Jensen and Schlegel was fighting with him because he looked lost on John's point. Like, he's not in position. Jensen needs to cover a little bit of his loosiness there. So yeah, he has his moments of, okay, where's the player? Where's the player? But I see what you're saying, John.
Yeah, and then the good thing I saw about Orlando was the pressing in transition. They were forcing Flamengo to become very uncomfortable touching the ball, like you see right there. How Angulo just recouped that ball really easy, and then Orlando goes in transition, and they're very dangerous. And that's how the first goal, the tying goal, came about. And I honestly feel like this kid Kaczewski honestly held his own, and it was really surprising. Like John was saying, even Oscar said in post press conference, he's a young player, just came from college today. He showed tons of personality as he was here longer. I'm very proud of him, and it kind of showed that, we can hold ourselves against big teams like this, that, you would think that they will play with their B team, their B squad. No, but they were playing with their A squad. And not only that, we played with our B team in the second half, so it really made a lot of buzz down in Brazil, Now, John, do you feel like with this partnership that we had, this Brazilian connection now with also Interco, do you feel like we're going to maybe more like set sail down there, with maybe, our academies and things like that?
I think, obviously the FC series or the Florida Cup or whatever you want to, they've been doing this a while, and I think they've proven that there is a marketplace here. Now, a lot of people were upset by the fact that, there wasn't many Orlando City fans. I agree.
Right.
I think partly that's because of the way they marketed it and the way the ticket sells. Like I said on Twitter, this is not the club running this. This is FC Series. This is their events. They invite us. But I think we could do something like this without them. Honestly, like,
I agree.
The club doesn't need to partner with them to do this. And if we have a partnership with a sponsor, right, like Inter & Co, that wants to happily spend the money to put this on, I think we could have our own preseason Brazilian MLS tournament. Because you think about North America, like you've got Seattle that went to Spain, right? You've got teams all over the northern half of the country that preseason have to come down south or somewhere to a warmer climate. So we invite a few of those, like maybe a Seattle and a Vancouver. You bring a couple of Brazilian clubs and you slap, a sponsorship name on it. You could run this tournament ourselves and we could make even more money. I'm sure there was some kind of revenue split. I'm sure we did well out of this as a club. Like, we're not doing this for the fun of it. We're doing this to make some money. Yes, it sucks there wasn't a lot of Orlando City fans there, but it's an expensive preseason game for us, right? Whereas the Flamengo fans don't get to see us a lot. So maybe in the future with our new sponsors, this is something that we might end up seeing. I don't know. That I could see that happening. Whether it will or not, I don't know.
Right. This is the play in which Orlando actually scored the equalizing goal right here. Beautiful play. I don't know. Look, Paola, like it was just, a beautiful goal. It was a connection between Nico and Wilder. You see Wilder, Ivan, then you got Wilder, and then you see Facu right there open on the left flank, makes across to Dagger Dan. Dagger Dan kind of waits out, sees all again. Nico.
Which, by the way, Dagger has number 17 now.
Yeah. And then, Kochevsky right there, it's like a tiki-taka, like very South American style that Orlando City plays right now, with them Facu and Rafa, like, I don't know if you saw look at that right there. That was just a beautiful play. Like it caught them off guard completely, a great moment by Ivan Angulo. What were your thoughts regarding the goal, Paola?
I mean, chef kiss, those passes, man. Like after that, I was so excited because this is just the beginning, and it's just a friend. Like it was a friendly. I know that they were not treating it as a friendly, but I mean, imagine what we could do with our little weapons with Nico there in the future of Orlando City games, and hopefully Ivan Angulo scores. Like put that ball into the net. Like he did fantastic. And the rest of the boys, like if you look at the clips, we don't look like we just are in preseason. Just
yeah, we look very sharp, and even Ivan said on post press conference that he took this game also. He did so great because it's kind of, he saw it as a little revenge too. After he played in Brazil for Palmeiras and he didn't get any minutes whatsoever, and he in Orlando he's killing it. And that was the premise of my question. And you guys can watch that on our YouTube. You guys can go. There's a post press conference there, and he pretty much says, I took it a little bit as a revenge, but I'm glad that I was able to score and contribute to the draw, right? For a lot of people, it's just a draw for sure, but it's a draw that make a bust. I mean, Flamengo is supposed to score 5 or 6 on you on a good day, especially to an MLS team. And Orlando held its own. And Oscar, he did mention, we can hold toe to toe with any team. So, we're going to watch a little bit of the presser real quick here. I know Nico Lodeiro spoke as well. So let's put some words from Nico real quick.
Yeah, we trained a lot last week, especially with Ivan, Facu, and the Duncan and the forward for this type of play. We have lucky we can do that in the game, and I'm happy for Ivan because he played really well and he trained this play and he can make today. But all team train different situations. Yeah, this is my first game with different team, but I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. I I honest with you. I really enjoy this moment. It's a little different, but there are a very good group, very good teammate, close to my culture. This make my adaptation was really easy, and I feel happy to play for Orlando.
Now, John, do you feel? I have a feeling that he's definitely gonna just make a big impact. I mean, it seemed even though he's 34 and Mauri was 32, what is 32? I felt, I mean, and I don't want to again. I felt like a step up. If I felt like a step up, in my opinion, it just seemed that they were more. I mean, their transitions are a little bit more cohesive collectively. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your expectations of Nico Lodeiro? Obviously, I'm exaggerating when I say King Nico. But I mean,
Uh,
he look $1,000,000. That's why I said it.
he slotted in perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like you said. So I didn't really think a lot about what you that point you made, that there's a lot of sort of South American flair in our attack now. So bringing in a guy like Nico, like yes, he slots in, but almost maybe he was looking to play with guys more like Facu and Angulo, and they have that sort of understanding of how to play, the beautiful game up front, really, like in that attack, how to play 1-2s, how to, just like we saw the goal. So I think it's awesome that he settled in so quickly. I think we were debating a lot around Nico's not going to be the guy all the time. So who's going to be the 10? Maybe the plan is just to put Nico in as much as we possibly can. Like, he's fit enough. It seems like we can play him most games. Obviously, the schedule will catch up to him. Maybe that's when you throw Ojeda or Faco in there. But the way he was running the team already, honestly, I would say if he's fit, play him over anybody else in that 10 position, because he knows how to pull the strings there, and he knows how to play with these other guys in the same sort of culture like he was talking about. So I think that's huge. I think that Nico is, a massive asset already. And hopefully he can only grow with us. It just remains to be seen how many minutes he can really do this season. Hopefully he's very fit and can play as many games. Because like I said, in that role, he seems to be, like you said, a better Mauricio. And the whole system that Oscar made, even in one game, just seemed to click better. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed to flow better because Nico was doing things that Mauricio wouldn't always do.
Now, Paula, we saw the views of new players from OCB. It seems that our depth is going to come, some of it from OCB. I know that Coach Perlman was assistant coach for this game as well. I don't know if it's going to be permanent. I did ask somebody at the club; they didn't want to comment. So, but Perlman has a huge part on these kids just coming in and really surprising everybody. We saw Kaczewski, as you saw. We saw also coming in Wilfredo Rivera, right? Just your boy Paula. And then we also saw Jack Lynn. And we also saw Shaq Mohammed, which he was impressive against the Brazilian Flamengo. What are your thoughts regarding the newcomers there, Paula?
I mean, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I said, who impressed you the most?
I mean, I cannot pronounce his name.
Kochevsky?
Yeah.
Just
That
go with
one.
Georgia. We're just going to call him
Giorgio.
We'll go with
Georgia.
Armani.
Giorgio.
Georgia.
Yeah. So Giorgio, he was like, it reminded me of Duncan when he came out of college. He wasn't afraid, and technically I'm excited that the coach from the OCB is working along with Oscar, because if we need somebody from the OCB, they share the same vision of how the team should be playing. So it will be a easy transition from OCB, and they're in one accord. So, and Mohammed too, like, we didn't see him a lot in the first team last year, but he still played for the OCB, and he wasn't afraid of the Brazilian people. So, I mean, I see a good future for OCB in our academy, because I don't know. I have a gut feeling that if the coaching and our coaching staff from the first team, they collaborate better in a better way, like you utilizing his coach, we will have a better outcome from the OCB players with the first team.
I asked you the same question, John. I mean, impressive what I saw from Shaq. Also, very young, level-headed young man, I will say. Was a pleasure to meet him backstage. Triple C, Cool Calm Collective. Kochevsky, pretty good as well. And with further Rivera, you think Rivera is going to stay with us?
So Rivera, it's hinted that he's got OCB,
Yep.
which I think is about his level. So
Yep, I agree.
I'm happy to keep him around. I don't know if he's ever going to be first team quality, but
Right.
I want to keep him around because he's a Puerto Rican national team, and I think he's a good guy to have in the club. So notable highlights from these OCB players. I mean, I think Williams looked like he's physically stepped up a little bit. Obviously, he looked a bit more, a bit bulkier, like he could hold his own a little bit more at the back there. It was great to see Taifi get his debut.
Yeah,
that was an awesome moment. So happy to see that. Also, notable positions of question. Kyle Smith as a DM and Mikey Holiday at left back, like question mark. So that was interesting. Shaq Mohammed, I agree, would be the other one I would pick out of that group. That he looked like in that central attacking mid role, like he was able to be effective there and was getting on the ball a lot and connecting passes and stuff. So that was great to see. I think, like Paula said, though, the prospect of perhaps Martin Perlman being with the first team all the time and bringing that knowledge of the OCB, like I don't know if it's 100% that's what's going to happen, but it seems like that's happening, and maybe that signals that Oscar's more willing to use some of these OCB guys and give some minutes to some younger players. That's what I hope, but I hope that last year, and I got burned hard by the lack of young players getting first team chances. So I'm not going to get my hopes up too much.
No,
it's just preseason. They throw the OCB guys in there. Let's see if they're still here come the season.
Kyle Smith, Kyle Smith, like you said, he's a jack of all trades. I mean, if he could play the defensive midfielder position, I mean, this guy.
I noticed they got this wrong on
left
the press
back,
release.
right back, 4 positions.
You see on the press release it says he didn't play. He did play.
Yeah,
he played defensive mid.
I will say this, and this goes to the next topic. This game was not run by Orlando City Communications. I do want to say that Orlando City Communications was available for the players, helping them out with the interviews and the press conference for Oscar and here and there. But FC Series was completely in charge, even with the final match participation, which I don't know. I mean, they sent this and this was wrong, right? So they sent this to media and this was wrong. So it's that. I mean, FC Series are the ones responsible for the ticketing, marketing, all of that. Orlando was invited as a participant. So I do want to add that. So don't be.
That's just the thing people assume because we have the clubs like it's all them. People have to remember sometimes if it's a friendly, it's not always the club that's organizing this stuff. They don't always, not always our decisions.
They give the press hot dogs. I do want to say.
Right. Yeah. Well,
hot dogs.
So
and then
you were not impressed.
And then when I got there were no hot dogs left. And I'm very upset.
They didn't even save you a glizzy. What is
I'm very upset.
Unacceptable.
And the cookies, usually they're pretty big. And this time they gave little cookies. But it's okay.
They cut them in half.
Script on the press food, everybody.
I'm just joking.
I want to know that they script on the press food.
I'm in a big rant, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Let's read some comments here. Chad Elders, it says, thank you so much. Do you think we will still play a 4-2-3-1? I would like at least 2 strikers up top. Also, where do you see Facundo slotting this year? That's a good question, John. What are your thoughts regarding that?
I think 2 strikers is like anti-Oscar. I think that's the thing. It's just, I know you want to see that, Chad, and I'm like, yeah, let's be more attacking. But It's just not Oscar. I think you're going to see the same tactic that we saw last year, just with slightly different players doing slightly different things, maybe some tweaks here or there. But 4-2-3-1, I could probably stake my life on that.
Joshua Tall, he says, how did Galese do? Also, let's go about Angulo scoring. What do you think about that? How do you think Galese do, Paula?
Phenomenal. Like, I mean, we got scored once, but it was, defensively, we were not marking the guys, but like always, he's on point. He's one of the best goalkeepers in MLS, the second one, so I'm excited to see him play this season. But he did well. He did like Galese will always do. So
I did notice he was wearing shorts. He was wearing like pretty baggy shorts. I don't know if it was the first time I see him wearing really baggy shorts, but call me weird. But I did notice that a little bit. But it was great. I mean, Galese was always great. Obviously, Angulo. Jeffrey O, he says, I say let Duncan go and convince Gabigol to come to Orlando. Man, everyone was talking about this backstage. I do want to say this. Flamengo players, even people from colleagues, Brazilian colleagues that were at the press box, were all talking about, you guys are going to try to convince Gabigol to come here. Don't, he's not going to go anywhere. Like we got two, Alonso was there too. We got two people from Flamengo coming up to us saying, they were sitting right next to us. No, you're not going to take Gabigol away. I was like, well, I mean, honestly, tell that to the Wolves. I'm sure they could make it. I'm sure they could pull it out. I'm sure they could do it. But
I think the big thing with the Brazilian clubs is that they, like you said, like they were, expecting to come and beat us like 4 or 5-0. I think they still think that they're massive in the sense of like the level of club they are globally. Like obviously supporter wise, they're huge. They got a massive fan base, but the amount of money they're spending globally and the level of the play and the league is not what it used to be. Exactly. So there's like a mentality of we're the big boys. In reality, we could steal someone like Gabigol. Like you would have to spend the right kind of money, but he wouldn't look at the MLS and go, that's not viable. Maybe 5-10 years ago, he would have thought that. But now it's not exactly like there's a lot of guys leaving here to go to Brazil. It's more like they're coming from Brazil to MLS.
Agreed. JCB's 95 says, buenas noches, everyone. I was impressed by the OCB group. I was glad to see them get minutes and take advantage of it. I do agree with you, JCB. I think it was fantastic to see Williams, even though they messed up his name. I don't know how you mispronounce Williams. When they put Williams with an N. Shaq, it was great to see Kuchevsky. I think it's going to be great. And Taifi was really emotional because that kid's been part of the system since he's 9 years old in the academy. Imagine that. Imagine a proud moment of, the sacrifices that parents had to do to take him every weekend. I go through that now with my 6-year-old. She's going to little soccer. And man, I have to wake up usually on the weekends. I try to sleep a little longer. Not anymore. I have to wake up like at 7 and then get the dog and then get her ready and the shin guards and all that stuff. It's a huge thing. Joshua Tall, do you think Orlando City might get a different center back instead of Bracalo? We're going to talk about rumors real quick. The first one, I want to trace back to what we were talking about, Duncan McGuire and the comment from Jeffrey O. There's a lot of rumors coming out from the UK about Duncan McGuire being targeted by Blackburn Rovers and FC, I don't know how to pronounce that, Midland, right? Midland, right?
Yeah.
They're both pursuing Orlando City and U.S. men's national team forward Duncan McGuire. Also, Sheffield Wednesday, who had a bid rejected. Apparently, Tom Boger reported this. So I don't know. What are your thoughts regarding that, John? I mean, look, I would love to see Duncan succeed. I feel like it's too soon. I feel like he could stay in the MLS one more season and then see what he can do. He can maybe even, if he scores 10 goals, maybe play Copa America. Why not? I mean, the U.S. can call him up for Copa America, and that could showcase his talents, and then he can leave early next season. I don't know, what are your thoughts regarding that?
I think earlier in the season, when it was like loan offers from Blackburn, and it was a loan offer from like what was that, Molenbeek or whatever, and smaller, not really viable offers, we were just sort of rejecting them out of hand, and we were thinking, okay, Duncan's a hot commodity, people are interested, but we're not interested in selling him. I think what's changed is this week, it seems to be more like a conversation of there's no longer us talking about renewing Duncan, and it seems to be more like Duncan is going. And if Tom Bogut is reporting this, that, there's heavy interest and things are progressing, then that seems like there must be something from Duncan's side that has a desire to go to Europe now. Or else he would say, no, I'm happy to stay here. I'll sign a new deal. Like, there was reports that we offered him a new deal. So either he's not interested in signing a new deal and he definitely wants to go to Europe. That's what I would say, when there's smoke, there's, fire. That's sort of what this all indicates, honestly. And it seems a shame, because I do think that another year with us would really benefit him. And I think if it was a massive European club, I would understand. But these, Blackburn and Midtjylland, like, honestly, yes, he'll play. Like, he'll start probably for those clubs. But there's a chance where this could go backwards for Duncan. Honestly, there is. Like, he could go to Blackburn and not be able to perform in the championship and fall down the pecking order. And then, his stock could plummet. Like, the same thing could happen. Like, he could go to Norway.
Like
I think Mitch, right? Like Chris Mueller. I think Midtjylland, he has more of a chance of doing well. Honestly, I think the championship might be a little bit too physical for Duncan. Like, we saw at times when he played against bigger center backs,
right.
Like the Seattle game comes to mind, right? Like, he got bullied around, and most of the championship is a very physical, even more physical than MLS league. So there's no guarantees that he's going to be able to do what he does for us for Blackburn. Honestly, I would just, if it was us, I would reject it and I would keep him here. But then you're keeping a player here that doesn't want to be here. And that's why I think that it seems like he wants to go. Matt Doyle said, I listened to Extra Time earlier today. He said if they sell him, it will be for a big number, the type of number that allows us to go spend big on a DP number 9 from Argentina or Brazil.
Gabigol.
But he also said, then they sell him, the time is right, and I expect him to go to a bigger club than Blackburn. So even Matt Doyle is, like, what? This doesn't make sense. Another small tidbit before I let Paula go in, it's just that also apparently there was reported that Saudi club came in for a $500,000 loan for him that we also rejected. So it's like we're swatting away offers.
No way.
Yeah, it's like we're batting them off. But at a certain point, if he wants to go, we got to take our money. And I think that point is starting to shift that way.
It's part of the game. It's part of the game. Paula, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it feels like we're not getting the entire,
story,
information. Story.
For sure.
Because first, 2 clubs offers, no, rejected. Then we offer because we don't know. Most likely, yes, because Tom Bogut reported it. Orlando City offered him a new contract, but he rejected it. So I don't know. I feel that we're missing a piece of the puzzle here that for me doesn't make sense. But I mean, look, if the dude wants to leave, let him go. But it has to be smart both ways. That's the key there. Go ahead, Luis. Sorry.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. Look, I still say this. He's not ready yet. I think,
Nope, I
and
agree
again,
with that.
I mean, that's gonna sound harsh, but I just feel like I think I think he still has to score. I mean, if you want to go to a Glasgow Rangers, a Celtic, you want to go to the Scottish League, playing the two big boys there. You want to play like in a Brighton, Brighton Hove Albion, you know, you are not in that level yet. In my opinion, I feel that it'll be a disservice to let him go to like any random club down, and then he gets lost in translation, and then he goes to Chicago Fire, in a year from now. It just wouldn't make sense to me. I think he has the opportunities to showcase his talents. This game against Flamengo was one. I think he did in the beginning 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the game. He definitely tried to make an impact. You could definitely tell he was gung ho to score. But obviously, you have, like I said, Copa America. You have all those events that he may be able to. If he does great with Orlando, which he's already known to do great with the Oscar system and things like that, he'd be able to maybe score 8 goals in the first few weeks of the league, and we may be seeing Duncan being in the starting lineup for U.S. men's national team against in the Copa America, right? So, and that's a huge marquee to be playing those type of tournaments. Now, if again, I do agree with John that if he's really not happy, we can definitely shop him. But what nine are you going to get at this time, ready to go?
And he doesn't
So-
he does seems happy because I don't know, and I don't know. I'm just assuming, right? Because the team posted a video of him coming into the training, and everybody's like, "Oh," and Oscar was so excited to see him. Oscar gave him a hug, and they were making fun of him because of the hair, blah blah. So I don't know. There's so many thoughts. There's so
Also, the way
many.
Nico just talked about it in the presser, like, "Oh, I've been training with Duncan." It's like, if he's halfway out the door, you think they would be like,
right.
And he's in
maybe
Mexico
let's
right
start
now.
another
I
guy.
don't know.
Like, they maybe would have started Jacqueline or like Enrique up front again in the friendly. It just seems very
odd.
yeah.
It's just
And I'm
odd.
also like, if he wants to go, I think we should let him go. I'm not gonna stand in the guy's way. One thing I have noticed is I was looking up his agent. He's with an agency which is called Mega. What is it? Mega Players or Mega something. And so they have quite a few MLS players that they've sold quite a few of them overseas at different times, like Brian Reynolds, for example. Some of them are in MLS, but it might be his agent that is
Pushing for this.
Like,
Pushing,
I'm not
probably.
I'm maybe this is hopeful me being like, oh, Duncan wants to stay, he loves it here. Duncan might not want to stay. Duncan might be like, I'm done, I want to go to Europe already. Maybe he thinks like that. Maybe his agent's telling him there's interest now, you should take an offer now before it dries up, right? Because honestly, we're talking like he's going to have another killer season. He might not have another killer season, in which case the offers are gone. So maybe that's what his agent has told him. We don't know. We only know as much as we get, the small tidbits of information. We're just going to have to sit here patiently for the next 2 days and watch very eagerly to see what happens. But if it's going to be one of these European clubs, we'll know by Thursday, because the European windows will all close at the end of this month. So if this European window move is happening and he's not going MLS, he's probably not going to go anywhere else apart from Europe. So hopefully this will be resolved this week. And if he is going, I'm sure they've got a list of nines lined up. And maybe we can go find someone
like Gabigol.
Not saying Duncan isn't, great, but maybe we go find someone who suits more like we were just talking about with Nico and Facu, and we've got this South American flair up front. Duncan, might not really fit into that.
I'll say a name that wants to leave Miami.
Oh no, don't even.
Leonardo Campana wants to leave Miami.
Oh, I thought
Boom,
you
boom,
were.
boom.
I forgot. I thought you were going to say Jose Martinez. He
No,
already
Leo
got kicked out of
Campana. Leo
Miami.
Campana.
Leo Campana,
Ecuador.
I would definitely take up
He'll
I
be
front.
will take him.
he'll feel like a glove. He'll feel
I
like a
would
glove.
take him up front,
Leo
and we
Campana.
would treat him right too. None of this,
Let me show you the way, Leo. You want to be started in the Ecuadorian national team? Come here, Papu. Come here. Let's go.
And he'd still be a young DP, right?
Of course.
So we could make
Yeah.
that happen even in our current roster rules. I do also think, we'll talk about Gaston in a minute, but that plus Duncan leaving could mean even more big shifting around, like we talked about last week.
Well, there were a lot of rumors about this gentleman right here, Martin Ojeda, going to Boca Juniors. Dead. It was a rumor. It was a dead rumor. Orlando siding with Orlando apparel right now. He's training with the team. More than likely, he's going to be part of the friendlies that he's actually going to Cancun with the team and all of that. So that's that. Another thing we wanted to talk about was another rumor
got a green card.
Yep, he got a green card. Another rumor that came up from Chile. This young center back, Uruguayan center back. His name is Alan Saldivia, right? Chilean club from Chilean powerhouse Colo Colo. I think the biggest club in Chile. He's a starter there. He's a center back. He's also wanted by Cádiz, which is a Spanish team, as well as Millonarios from Colombia, one of the biggest Colombian teams down in Colombia, and also apparently an unnamed MLS club wants around $2 million for the 21-year-old Uruguayan center back. Now, are we getting another Uruguayan? I mean, I wouldn't be against this move because he will fit probably perfectly with how Oscar will be playing. But also there's the news with David Bracalo, right? I don't know. What are your thoughts, Bracalo or Alan Saldivia, John? Bracalo's deal is, I think he wants to leave. I mean, he's given an interview about that.
Honestly, I know nothing about Alan Saldivia. I just saw this. It came out like a few hours before we came on air. So I will say about that rumor, though, that there's only a rumor that he's had a bid from an MLS club. It's not specific which MLS club. So there's some assumption that it's us. Other MLS clubs I've seen, like RSL, there was some assumption it was them. Also, apparently he's wanted by Cadiz. And also I saw a rumor that Millionaire also went in for him as well. So it could be that this guy's agent is just throwing rumors
Shopping
out
around
to the world to drum up interest. We might not even be connected with him at all. It could be true. It could not. It's a very, far off rumor. That's how rumors start. It's just an idea. And then maybe if more and more people talk about it, you think it gains some traction, right? Like David Bracalo. I think with that one, it's gone cold, but that doesn't mean it's dead. It could just be that we haven't heard anything because they're about to announce it. He obviously made a plea. We saw that from him. And it just seemed to be a stalemate last week. I don't know. Paula, you've been watching this one like a hawk.
I want to give kudos to Moraima because I'm taking this out of her Twitter. Thank you, Moraima. Go ahead, Paula.
No, I mean, I haven't heard anything since that tweet from Moraima. The only thing that I know is that he's mad at the club because the club promised him a lot of things, and he wants to leave. So there's nothing else. I haven't seen anything. I've been watching like a hog. Like at 6 a.m. I'm up and ready to be working, and I'm like in Twitter looking and see if I see something. There's nothing else, man. There is sad for us, right? It's sad for us, the supporters, because we want to know what's going on, but at the same time, at this point, it's not our club fault if we are pursuing for Bracalo. Like, that's a different story. I think it's a problem between him and his club. So I don't know if we are going to pursue Bracalo at this point, to be honest.
I'll say he'll fit like a glove in Oscar as well, especially with Robin Jansen. I think he'll be a great addition to our team for sure. I think they said they will never stand in the way. He's talking about Viking. He says that he said no. He rejected a 60 million. Uh, I don't know if it's 60 million euro,
Was
but I think it's 60 million like Norway money.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Norwegian money. For him, for a Denmark club, because they were on the top of the league. He said no, and then he's telling the club that the 30 million that Orlando wants to offer, which is around $2 million, it's okay. It's he pretty much saying just take it, just take it. Gosh darn it, take it now, please let me go. And so we're seeing this guy really wanting to come to Orlando. If we pull it off, I think it'll be an amazing story. I think it would be a great addition right there in the back line with Robin Jansen. Now, I do want to say there is also I was gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the rumors about the kit, right? There's a leak that happened. And again, I'm going to say, look, I have not played FC24. I am a FIFA guy. Well, I haven't been able to play it, but I did see this online, and it was interesting. We have it here on our Instagram. Orlando City FC24 leaked a bunch of MLS and NWSL kits for next year. And Toronto has the Earthquakes has also a retro with the old 1994 logo for the Earthquakes. But us is a white with red and purple, like all times, with the old logo, John. I literally was like so happy about this. If this is true, I'm buying like 2 of those kits. How you feel about that, John? Is this legit?
Well, first of all, I think the term leak is a massive understatement.
Yeah.
I think this is more of like a burst pipe at the like aquarium and the entire ocean is spilled out. Like, great job, EAFC. Smooth, really good idea to go ahead and put out everybody's kit. So it's kind of annoying because I think this would have been an incredible jersey for the club to reveal themselves. And I think they still will. Obviously they're gonna tell their story, but yeah, and we get all those awesome videos and the close up of the logo, and they'll tell about the history of the reasons why. Like, a lot of people don't know why it's red, and they don't know what this
exactly.
It's actually, if you look really closely, this is how much I've looked at this. It's like an updated version of the old logo. It's not exactly. It's like a blend of the old logo and our new logo. The red, obviously, because the first year we ever played, we played in red. We weren't purple back in 2013. So it's a throwback to that. It's beautiful. And I think once the club actually announces it, it's going to be really awesome. And I think based off this little image, we shouldn't judge it off this tiny image because we need to see it for real in the, real life with real renders and like real video. But the reaction we have got is everybody loves it. And, they're judging it off this JPEG picture. So I think that's great. I think, the club for years, we've been asking them to talk, do something about the history, pay homage to it, really. Like, let's look back at, almost 10 years now. We're coming on, almost 10 years of an MLS club. We've had more than 10 years of us being in USL. So it's an incredible, I think, what's the word? Sort of like nod to, or sort of, just nice gesture to look back at our history. And something that I look back fondly, and hopefully there are some fans that will remember owning a red jersey and being there that first year. And for them, this will be extra special. But even if you're not an OG that was that, back there, like, you guys weren't, and maybe you, Luis, I know, Paulo, you weren't, but you can still really
No,
get
I was there.
understand what it means, and I think those people will still want to buy it even if they didn't have one originally. It's more exciting than our standard white jersey, that's for sure, but it's still a standard white jersey.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. I'll be honest with you. Like I started like going like, oh my god, this is great. You know, it's we're one of those MLS clubs that we got history. I mean, what we've done at USL, it's nothing to put aside in a shelf. Most people won't understand because they're not from Orlando, but I mean, the club original jersey was red and white, and I remember when Orlando beat Newcastle United 1-0 with a Kevin Molino goal, and and he was a tiny USL team that just destroyed and made Newcastle look stupid. I remember that, and that was with a red kid. So red is a huge important color in our history. And if they drew, I want to give a little, my own what I would like to see. I want to see Dennis Chin in the presentation of the jersey. It would great to see, the old USL guys. Jamie Watson come in, Kevin Molino maybe make an appearance. I know he's in Columbus, but I'm sure he can come in and I don't know if it will be permitted because he's in Columbus, but Luke Bowden,
just guys,
Seb
that are
Hine,
here in Orlando
right,
that are ex players. Definitely, we don't even have
right.
to go outside of that. That would be
Yeah,
cool. I think
that
they're
would be
going to do
cool.
something special around this. Paula, I want to know what you think
I
of
know.
this jersey and like, because for me and Luis, we're like, oh, we get it instantly, but for you, it's a different perspective.
So when I saw, it's funny how FIFA linked this because they usually are the worst people to update the kits in the game. Like they're the last. MLS is the last kit in the game to be updated. And now this year they licked, they licked this thing and I was like, "Oh my, like I was kind of mad because I wanted it to be a surprise." Right? And it's still a surprise because we don't know 100% how it looks because the wall kit, like our purple kit, it doesn't, in pictures is different, and up close is more beautiful than in a picture. So I'm excited. I'm actually thrilled. I think I'm gonna buy it. I don't know because I made a promise myself last season that I will buy a new jersey when we win the MLS Cup. So, but this is history. So this is something different. But imagine if we won the cup this year with this jersey, and we have the star
Man,
in
that
that
would
kit.
be. I mean, that would, man, that would mean so much to me.
That would be like
I
mind
know. To
blowing.
John, it'll be like another level, but to me, like it would be like Hakuna Matata, like the circle of life, man. Like, you know what I
You will
mean?
frame it probably, right, Luis?
Of
If we won the
course.
MLS Cup, we had the chance to have that little star in the up of the logo. I mean, think about it.
Someone was, I can't remember who you were on Twitter, but shout out to you that I don't remember the name of, but there's that tiny little black dot that's like there at the top. And they were saying,
Like
is this a button? So they're saying,
it
does
is a
it have
button.
like a button,
Yeah,
because
probably a
the
button.
old, I don't know if you remember the old Umbro ones, Luis, but they had a button sort of
They had a
weird
button.
collar
Yeah.
thing here. So maybe that's what it is. Like you said, Paula, we can't tell all the little details of this until we see it for real. And I'm so excited for that. And I think the club's going to do something really cool and special and, a real nod to the history that this jersey is. So I'm excited to see what that is.
Yeah. This one right here. Remember that. That's a
Yeah,
2012 one.
that's a classic.
That was the kit right there. GoTube TV. My cocky Brazilian neighbor went to the game, came back with his tail between his legs. Vamos Orlando. Thank you, GoTube TV. Appreciate it. Joshua Tall, Duncan, stay one more season. That's right. Stay one more season. So, before we go, Gaston Gonzalez, rapidly, he was loaned to Nacional. What are your thoughts about that, John? I mean, it's a pretty much done deal.
Yeah, I mean, we reported on it before because we were
Yeah.
surprised but knew it had real legs, and it's just been confirmed this week. So, I think he's through contract with us for multiple years, and this has a purchase option. So maybe he's never going to come back and play for us. Maybe he will. I think it really depends on how well he does at this loan away. But for Gaston personally, like, I think he just needs to play and he needs minutes and he needs to get his career back on track, right? It got derailed. So hopefully this is that step he needs.
And the club is training for a whole week. They're doing preseason. They just traveled to Cancun, Mexico. 1 week preseason training camp before returning to Orlando next week. What are your thoughts regarding that, Paola? I think they're
mean,
training there because of maybe Leagues Cup or Champions Cup. I don't know.
I don't know. It reminds me when Oscar came into the club. That was the first like
The beach gif of the flag waving. Have you seen that one?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was in 2020 before the pandemic. So it reminds me of that vibe, and I think they deserve it too. And I think last season we didn't see the team as the end of the season. Like they were so they were working together, they were united. So I think it's just to boost their morale and be more united and all that stuff. So I think they deserve it, and I'm up for all these things. They can concentrate, think about the game, think about Oscar plans for the season, and I think it's a good way to start the MLS this season. So hopefully good things from there they bring back.
Yeah, if you're going to Orlando City's Instagram, they have a video of pretty much doing tiki taka, like short spaces, passing in short spaces. It's pretty sick, and you see like Duncan, and you see Dogger Dan. Like it's impressive. You guys should definitely look at that. Kuhn and Friends says saying Nico is handsome is mega pause. Bro was looking at something else during the game. Naughty, naughty. There you go.
What was he looking at? Now I want to know.
What was I looking at? Kuhn and Friends.
Pum, pum, pum.
Well, we're gonna close with telling you guys to subscribe to our pod. We are available on audio form as well. Oh, I do before I go. Breaking news, real quick. Breaking news. Yeah.
Ooh.
Where's the sound, Luis? You forgot the
I
sound.
forgot the sound. But breaking news. According to sources, Orlando has already chosen a new 9 and a center back.
Dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun. So there's gonna be a lot of buzz coming up this week and possibly next.
Well, MLS window opens on the
Open.
31st.
You're gonna start seeing a lot of stuff coming from us and maybe
Stuff's
others.
happening.
It's happening, guys. So they've made some decisions that they're going to be announcing very shortly.
I think we need just a little bit of patience,
Just
Let's see this time next week where we're at.
That's right. And don't forget to follow Loud and Proud Orlando and all our social media outlets. We have on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, X, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as LP_podcast. Also, make sure you follow Tiro de Esquina, right? On YouTube, Paola.
Yes, Tiro Esquina OC. We're gonna start really, really soon the season. New things coming, cooking for the pod. We are continuing the pod. We haven't done any episodes since last season, but we're coming back.
Perfect.
I thought for a second you meant that you have a cooking section on your pod now.
That'd be great. Somofongo.
You're
cooking with the lion.
Cooking.
Can you imagine that?
You're not literally cooking.
Cooking with Paula and Alec.
You can find me on Twitter at John Rollins OCSD, as well as everything here with the podcast on LPO. And tomorrow we have another Pride podcast out for you guys, so join us for that. Big news there. There was a major signing well, not major signing, but a major leaving that occurred. So if you haven't heard, come join us tomorrow.
Correct. Come join us tomorrow with the Pride Pod. And for us, it's until next time. Vamos Orlando. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you to
Vamos
everybody.
Orlando.
Vamos, Orlando, let's go.